Hi friends, welcome to Starsight. Today we're going to channel some important necessary messages about what you need to accept about the professional path that you have chosen for yourself. Now, I've set an intention that these messages are not going to be about exploitation or unfair labor conditions or unjust compensation rates. So I'm not going to say at any point in this reading that those things are good for you. No, we are going to look at problems, we are going to look at struggles that are to do with your spiritual growth. So issues or circumstances within your professional path that are actually there to help you level up. I'm not going to say ever that exploitation or injustice or unfair labor practices are going to help you level up spiritually. So this reading is not about that at all. So if you are in a professional situation where there is injustice happening to you, this may not be the reading for you. Okay, so be very careful and discerning about what you take in from these general messages today. So this is pile 1, the soul star chakra. Second, furred and feathered friends. And third, we have freedom. So pick your pile. I'll see you at the readings. If you need more time to pick a pile, please pause the video at this point. Alright, pile 1. So the first thing I'll say about your energy is that you need your professional path to feel meaningful. Meaningful not just in the sense that I enjoy it, I like this work, meaningful in the soulful sense or meaningful in the sense of divinity. It has to make you feel like living itself has a purpose beyond everyday life and dying and struggling and all of the awful, cruel things that happen around us all the time. What is the purpose here in being alive? What is the purpose here in knowing that this is not an ideal world and still striving to make it better? What is the thing that drives us forward in the bleakest of circumstances? What makes someone act like a hero when they have nothing for themselves and yet they're giving to others, or they're performing feats that you wouldn't even expect? People who are well cared for to exhibit or to offer to the world. So there is something that you are looking for, some human essence, some idea of human heroism that you're looking for through your professional path. So if it is something like management, or if it is something technical, even then you are looking for a dimension that could connect you with this world of meaning. So let's say that you are a programmer. Still, you want to create programs that work for the betterment of the world, or you work for a company that does a lot of charity work. So regardless of what your specific role might be, you look for this meaning through your professional path. I feel also in your energy that there has been disillusionment around this need of yours. So you may have gotten into a particular path, you may have chosen a particular path thinking, I will find my meaning here, but maybe you haven't. Or you are currently working with an organization that's not serving that purpose. So your job in general, your work in general could be meaningful to you, but you may not be in the right environment at the moment. But there's some questioning happening right now about whether this path is going to take you to the meaningful place that you hope to get to. So let's see more specifically what you need to accept. Yes, see the star in reverse, that is a card of wish fulfillment, and that's in reverse here. The sun, yeah. And the Lover's card, yeah, choice. If what I've said so far resonates for you, your intuition is absolutely on point. It's not the work itself that is the problem. You have not chosen the wrong work for yourself, but the people around you or the organization that you're associated with at the moment, that may not be the right place for you. I think that the particular organization that you're working with right now, the particular group of people even that you're working with right now. So it may be the team that's the problem, not the whole organization. But you're just the current set of colleagues around you. It feels like they are not plugged into the big picture like you are. Or they're very focused on getting the job done, doing the bare minimum. That, I'm not saying they're bad people at all, but for whatever reason, they're not invested in the work the way you are. For you, the work is, again, as I said before, a path towards greater meaning. For them, it may just be, this is my day job. And because they don't invest the work with as much energy and meaning and passion as you do, you could just feel really dissatisfied with this group experience. I think the work that you're doing currently, it's still good for you. You still like it, probably even love it, and that might be the basis of your conflict right now. I love the work, I love the opportunities that I get through this organization or through this team, but I don't like the team experience itself. I don't like the environment of this organization. So again, like, be very careful about what information you take in through this reading, pile one, right? Because I don't want you to say, leave your job if that's not the right thing for you. So please use your discernment when you take decisions based on information that you get from a random stranger on YouTube. The reason that I want to share this information with you, if this is for you, if this helps you, is mostly to help you understand your own life at a deeper level. Okay? Understand your life from the perspective of your spirit guides. Now, forget me, not even your spirit guides are going to ask you to do A, B, or C. That is your free will, that is your decision. Guides are here only to give you some perspective. So the perspective here is that your intuition is correct, that though you are getting good opportunities here, the team is not quite spiritually invested in the work like you are. Okay? And you might have to, so what could be happening in your head at this time is that you might be playing off those two things against each other. Good opportunities, but team experience is not so good. Should I stay? Should I leave? And your guides are saying both of these things are true. Okay, and now you need to pick, you need to make a choice. about whether you're interested in taking a risk and going to another organization or going to another team, knowing that it may take you a while to get those same opportunities that you're getting right now. But at the same time, your team experience, your group experience may be much, much better. Because in a way, you are looking for that group experience, pile one. This idea of meaningfulness, this idea of human essence, it's not an individual thing. It's not about what I can feel in my body. As soon as we say something like human or we say something like essence, then automatically it's about us as a group, as a community, as a species. And you are looking for a group that can affirm that for you, that we're all looking for meaning together, and that is meaningful in itself. Let's see what you need to activate within yourself right now to accept this about your professional path. First of all, I think we don't yet have that answer. What do you need to accept about your professional path? I think so far we've gotten information about what you need to understand about your current professional predicament. Yeah, see, to make equal. That you are really interested in the progress and evolution of humanity as such. For you, it's not about let me make money or let me move forward. It's about more than you. It's about the world. It's about communities. It's about making a massive difference to the world as it is right now and changing it for the better. Alright, here's some information about your path. What you need to accept about your path. Your guides are saying, pile one, that you want to see this meaningful progress happen really fast. Okay, there's something within you, you're just dying to see some evidence of change, or dying to see some evidence of the value of the work that you do. But your guides are saying that when you rush this outcome, or when you rush this when you want to see the proof really fast, or when you want to see rapid progress, it's not actually going to lead to the egalitarian world that you dream of. It's actually going to lead to a power balance. What does that mean? Sorry, I'm just gathering my words here. A lot of organizations and people in the world who have had egalitarianism in their hearts and in their minds when they were trying to create that in the world ended up being tyrannical, ended up being dictatorial, ended up taking up power in a way that was against their own professed values. And often people do this not because there is evil in their hearts, but because they're convinced that this is the only way that change will happen in a high-handed way. And so your guides are saying to you that if you truly want to create the world, create a world that is more equal, then you'll have to go about it in a way that is more stable, that is more grounded, that is less showy, that is less rapid. Because rapid change is not deep change for you. This is not a fact always, but for you, wherever you are working, rapid change is not going to be deep foundational change. In fact, rapid change can on the surface make you feel like, oh, everything's changing, but you could be repeating the patterns that you had set out to disrupt. So some of those patterns can be taking up too much power. Some of those patterns can be self-righteousness. Some of those patterns can be thinking that you know what is best for everyone. Whereas in an egalitarian world, everyone has equal say in what's good for them. Okay, here's a more integrated message about your current situation and your path. It is really important for you to have a good group experience, pile one, because that is how you're going to learn how to create and be in an egalitarian world. Okay, it's not that the group is a means to an end. Like, let's assemble a good group and then we'll create the world of our dreams. The group itself is going to be an opportunity for you to experiment with world building and with group dynamics and creating a mini version intentionally of the world that you hope to live in one day. So the group experience here is not just something that's happening on the side. That is going to be how you move forward. That is going to be how you realize your dream. So first you create a team that is truly egalitarian. Then that team becomes 3 teams. Then those 3 teams become an organization, So for you, if the team experience, if the group experience is not working, that is sooner or later going to interfere with your path itself. It is not something that is accidental or circumstantial to your path. It is the path itself. A good group experience, or a group where everyone is on board, everyone is invested in the work beyond the bare minimum, where everyone is involved and knows that the group that we form here is not just like we're not just machinery, but we are the world itself. Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands in reverse, and the Knight of Swords. Yeah, the people that you want on your team, the colleagues that you want, are not power-hungry people, are not people who are interested in status or rank or feeling like, wow, I'm doing something so important. You want colleagues, you want team members that are humble, that find the work itself nourishing, that are not looking for any particular rewards or any particular celebrations of their work. They're looking to really do good work. You're also looking for people who have a lot of good new ideas and are not scared to pursue them, but pursue them not with this panache, with not this power hungriness of, I have this really cool idea and I'm going to be the first person in the world to get it going or something. But a person like this, a person like a Queen of Pentacles who says, I have a good idea and it's going to take a long time, it's going to take a solid amount of labor for me to realize this idea, and it's also possible that this idea might not work, but I'm committed to the process, right? So you need colleagues that are committed to the process, even if the process changes them, even if the process changes their goals, their methods. They are willing. The colleagues that you want would be people who are willing to learn from what they do and not stick to their ideas or not stick to their fantasies of how things should be. They're very what is the word? Grassroots, yeah. They're very grassroots oriented people, the colleagues you want, who are willing to learn from the field, who are not looking to impose their own paradigms on the actual field. I feel like I'm channeling these messages for you not as news but as confirmation. So if you felt this longing within you for colleagues that are like this is your guide saying to you, go for it. Like, pursue this dream of having this kind of a team. It is not accidental, it is not idealistic that this is what you seek. Let's see what is the role that your professional path plays in your spiritual growth in this incarnation. Yeah, in your past lives, there could have been things that you've done that haven't been for evolution of humanity, but have been motivated out of selfishness or self-interest or short-sighted visions of growth. For example, a lot of small businesses, big industries, of course, abusing the environment for centuries, but there are also small businesses that are in a bid to grow really fast, are abusing labor or are abusing the resources around them, over harvesting or paying their artisans really little, things like that, practices of growth that are actually harmful to people and the environment and the world in the long term. So you may have been someone who's done things like that in your past lives. You are very invested at the level of your soul to reverse the effects of some of that work, to reverse the effects of some of those bad decisions. The reason that you might feel so passionate about making a difference in the world is because you have felt it. You've been on the dark side of this, so to speak, where you've done things that have felt good in the moment, and then it has left you with a crushing sense of responsibility and guilt. And so this lifetime you've come really ready to do things the right way, for your professional path to really be something that allows you to serve the world, not drain it. Alright, pile 1, that's your reading. Sending you a lot of love. Pile 2, furred and feathered friends. You have chosen your current professional path out of a need for connection with others, okay? To witness other people's lives, their problems, their struggles, but also to have them witness yours. So your profession could involve some kind of intimacy with others. You could be a therapist, or you could be a yoga teacher, or even a physiotherapist, a rehabilitation specialist. You could work with people who are looking to be de-addicted. You could be working with people who have mental or physical health issues. You could also be a massage therapist. A wide range of things. You could also be a creative, because that also involves witnessing humanity. Or because there are lots of animals and birds here, you could also be a veterinarian, working with animals in some way. You could be a spiritual facilitator. You could be a zoologist. The possibilities are endless here. But basically, whatever professional path you've chosen has been out of a need to connect with others. It could be humans, but it could also be other beings. It could be insects, birds, animals, trees, plants, the land, the stars, the clouds, the sky, the weather even. This could also be you could be someone who likes living off-grid, or likes the idea of living off-grid. You're not really interested in career growth, in the sense of, I'll do this, then that'll happen, then I'll get a promotion, or then I'll get increment in my salary or in how much I make. It feels like you're just really interested in this connection, in this need for connection, and then you want to let it take you where it will. Even if it's towards less money, even if it's towards a less visible or ambitious or smaller scale enterprise. The important thing for you is this. It's the connection. Everything else is secondary. You could also be someone who fosters kids or fosters animals. Let's see what you need to accept about your professional path. The 9 of Swords, the 6 of Swords, and the 2 of Pentacles. So you might have recently walked away from a stressful job situation or a stressful situation in your life. Could be professional, but could also be a personal situation. You walked away from it. And there's a feeling that you're currently in the realm of the unknown. You're not sure that, you're not sure what's next. Your possibilities feel really limited, and you're not able to see the horizon at the moment. It's very clear to you what you don't want. You don't want the stress you had in the past. You don't want the anxiety you had in the past, especially if it doesn't come with the connection that you seek with others, true soul connection that you seek with others. And you've done the very, very important and courageous thing of walking away. Because I think whatever you've walked away from recently could have been prosperous in some way, could have been stable in some way. So if it was a personal relationship, maybe you had together, you had a house of your own, or if it was a job, it paid well. But look at this card. Beneath all of that growth and stability, there is blood. there's blood in the soil. And this is why you left, because the cost of that stability was too high, whether it was for you or others. So if you were working with a company that was flouting environmental laws, for example, or you were working for an organization that was exploiting third world labor or something, you have understood the cost of some stability that was in your life, and you actually sacrificed it. You said, I will not stand for this bullshit. It's creating a lot of stress for you, but also you did not want to participate in it. But now that you walked away, you might still want to do the same work. Let's say if you were a therapist, you are a therapist, you walked away from a bad organization, but there may not be other jobs on the table right now. You may not know whether you need to go into private practice, or you need to wait for a job, or you need to switch careers. For example, do I need to actually start I can still continue to be a therapist, but do I need to do it from a spiritual perspective now? Or if I've qualified as a behavioral therapist, do I need to now become a cognitive therapist? There's a lot of questions on the table about how you can now do the work that you are qualified to do or you want to do. Or should you go back to school and get a couple more qualifications? There's a lot of questions on the table at the practical level. What now? At the spiritual level, you know what you want. In fact, the walking away that you've done has only deepened your commitment to this true soul connection that you wish to experience through your professional path. Okay. Let's see what you need to activate within yourself at the moment. Atoms building, solitariness desert, cleansing storms. Okay, this may not be a message that you would like hearing, so just patiently and slowly take in what I'm about to say. And if it feels like this is not for me or this makes me uncomfortable, take a few hours with it before you decide if it's for you or not. Your guides are saying, Pile 2, that there needs for some time to pass before you pick the next step here. Okay, you've done the right thing in walking away from whatever it is that you've walked away from, but there is still some cleansing that needs to happen of your own field. You walked away practically, you walked away physically, but whatever that situation was, it has left grief in your field, it has left mistrust in your field, a sense of betrayal. So even if you get your dream job right now, or even if you figure out, okay, this is what I now need to do, it may take you time to trust others again. And in that, you may end up sabotaging the new relationships that might be aligned with you or might be better for you. So your guides are advising you to wait a little bit before you jump into the next thing. Now, I understand that if other people are financially dependent on you, or if you are in debt, or if you are in need of money, you're not supported by other people in your life right now, this might not be practical for you to wait. But in that case, I'd still say that do something that is just available if it's available, but don't think this is my next big thing. Not immediately. Wait for a bit. I feel like this message is also for those of you who are having trouble finding the next job. So if you're feeling anxious about that and thinking, I must do something else now, or I need to change my path because what am I going to do if I don't get a job? Your guides are saying, you will wait for a bit. Like this delay in getting the next thing solidified is not going to work against you. In fact, it is in your favor. Okay, it is in your favor. You are getting built up at this time from within. You are being given the time, though it may not feel like an opportunity, it may feel like a waste of time. Actually, spiritually, this is an opportunity for you to dream a bigger dream for yourself. There's a lot of unlearning that needs to happen at this time, self-beliefs about what you are capable of, what you are worthy of receiving. All of that is undergoing massive change. Swiftness, but it's basically the 8 of Wands. Earned success, the 6 of Swords, and the Ace of Swords in reverse. Yeah. One of the reasons that the next step sorry about that, pile 2. One of the reasons that the next step is not immediately clear to you is that it's going to be different than what you imagine right now. So let's say that you're thinking, I need to get a job. Maybe you need to get into school, or maybe if you're thinking, I need more qualifications, no, you just need to meet the right person who's willing to start a new organization with you. It's whatever the next step needs to be is very different from your mental image or from what you think needs to happen next. It also feels like you exited this older situation probably very suddenly. But the exiting is still happening mentally, spiritually, energetically, emotionally. It's happened physically, but it hasn't yet been completed at these other levels. I feel like this is the crux of what you need to accept about your professional path, the path that you have chosen for yourself. See, as it is pile 2, I don't think that you're invested in money or titles or, public progress or social validation in the way that a lot of people are invested in. You are not. And at the same time, you do seek stability. You do want to, know that at the end of the day, you have enough for food and life and living. So it's not that you're looking for anything unreasonable or anything very big at the level of money or prosperity. You're looking for something comfortable. But what you need to accept, pile 2, about your path is that your goal or the what you seek, this connection, this soul connection, that in itself is so it is such a high spiritual goal, a goal of such high spiritual quality, a goal of so much spiritual potential that it's going to take a while to integrate it with the rhythms of an earthly life. Yeah, so it's not as if you're asking for anything extra, but still, whatever you're asking for, it is of such a different dimension and texture than the rhythm of the earthly world that it's going to take a little bit time for your spiritual vision to be materialized into an earthly professional situation. Okay, so for the right job, around the right people, doing the things that really appeal to you, the connections that are real, the interventions that you're going to want to make in a powerful, effective way. Or for all of those things to come together, a little bit of time is needed, but also you need a little bit of time to get there in a more put together way, in a more powerful way. So what you need to accept about the professional path that you've chosen is simply that it's just what you want is incredible and what you want is real. And because it is so incredible and real, give it a little bit time. Give it a little more time than what you think it needs. Cultivate patience within yourself and a deeper level of faith in your destiny. Let's see the role that your professional path is playing in your current lifetime. We have animal again. And so I think definitely that, I mean, even if your professional path has nothing to do with animals, maybe you really love animals or love those kinds of relationships that are based on understanding and mutual recognition. This lifetime feels like the end of a long path that you've been traveling. Possibly you've spent many lifetimes trying to integrate the spiritual with the material, God with matter, spirit with the earth. And I feel like this lifetime you're going to begin to see the fruits of that striving. You're going to see what it looks like when you're doing something in the earthly world or in the material world, but completely inhabited by spiritual instinct, by the promptings of the soul. I feel like you could be very frustrated at this time also because you're at the end of the path, like it is darkest before the dawn. It feels like that with you, that all the work that you've done, just before you get to see the reward, you're feeling the frustration, you're feeling the exhaustion, you're just feeling the longness of the path that you've traveled. It does feel very close in soul terms because the soul, the soul time is basically dozens of lifetimes. So it feels close in that sense, but I think at the level of the incarnation, it's a little bit away. I don't have a sense of time frame here in terms of physical time, but I think far away in the sense of your expectations. So sometimes if our expectation is 2 weeks, even 2.5 weeks will feel like too much. So I think it's a little bit like that whatever you expect, however fast you expect this next thing to turn up, it may take longer. And your guides are saying to you, don't worry. Focus on yourself, work on yourself. Develop yourself in this time in the best ways that you can. Cleanse yourself, do meditation, take care of your physical health, whatever you can do right now to work on yourself, do all of that. And let the right thing come to you. It will come to you. when we have this kind of an energy and this kind of a readiness to serve, the mission comes to us. We don't have to look for it. But in order for it to come to us, we have to sink deeply into the faith that we are ready for it. So your guides are asking you to cultivate that faith, to know in your own body that you're ready. And then it'll come on its own time, on its own terms, it will come. All right, pile 2, that's your message today. Sending you a lot of love. I'm going to go get some water before I start pile 3. Hi, pile 3. This pile belongs to people who are looking for freedom through their professional paths. So if you've struggled with poverty in the past or while growing up, your professional path, you've chosen it with the purpose of freeing yourself from that poverty, or if you're in debt or something. Money is just one thing that is occurring to me right now. It could also be other kinds of freedom. So let's say that you don't like living in your native country, or you don't like living close to your family. Your professional path that you have chosen might be something that requires you to immigrate to another country or gives you the mobility to move. You might also be someone who's chosen a path that involves a lot of traveling. Or a path where there's a lot of moving between companies. So you jump from one thing to another if you're getting a better opportunity. You could also be someone who is a freelancer. So basically many different possibilities of freedom here, but you are someone who has chosen their particular professional path with the purpose of having freedom. This is a dragonfly, and spiritually, a dragonfly is a symbol of illumination and intuition, and see all the eyes here. It's a lot of self-knowledge. And I feel like you're someone who's not very attached to the people that you work with or even to your actual work. You may be someone who feels like this is a means to an end. The end is freedom, and this is how I get it. So your work could be technical, or your work could be managerial, something where you're not emotionally involved. But it's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you do a bad job of it. I think that your emotional neutrality and your distance allows you to see the world of your work very clearly. You might be someone who is approached a lot for advice and for guidance. So I think you do your job really well, but you do it from a place of emotional distance because you know that this is simply the means to an end for me. And that actually allows you to have a lot of success at your work, paradoxically, because mostly we hear that people who are not invested in their work emotionally don't do a good job of it, right? But here it's like your lack of emotional investment is actually responsible for your success at work. So let's see what you need to accept about your professional path. Here, the Two of Wands in reverse, this Three of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. I think that as a guide or as a person that people trust, you get to see a lot of interpersonal bullshit. You could be working in human resources, for example, and you have to witness a lot of horrible, unnecessary things that people do to each other, all to gain some false sense of power or a false sense of advantage over the other. You got in your work environment is full of empty, false competition, pissing contests that are not really about anyone's growth or real value. It's a simulated environment where everyone is performing value rather than actually being valuable or doing work that is valuable, real. You're kind of sick of it. Even if this work is a means to an end, it feels like you've reached the end of your rope. Even as the means, this feels just so draining. This feels like someone, Pile 3, you feel like someone to me. It doesn't matter how old you are or how long you've worked here or in this area. Your quality of experience is that you've been here a long, long time. Even if it's just a few years, it's like you've lived many lives during this time that you've been working in this area. You've seen too much of human made misery, unnecessary interpersonal misery. And while this job could be paying really well, you could be hitting all of those freedom goals that you have, either of mobility or of, money, getting free of debt, being free. Maybe the hours are really good, maybe it's a part-time job. So you're getting a lot out of the job, but also the job is taking a lot out of you. And you're trying at this particular moment in time to balance those two things. Like, is this worth it? Is your question. Is this worth it? So what you need to activate within you right now. Alchemy, magic. The soul, passion. Transformation, pressure. We have two cards here that are both about transformation. It's alchemy and transformation. Tuning into your energy here, Pile 3. Just give me a moment. All right, I am going to share your guidance here. Now, I want you to be very discerning and careful about taking this guidance in, okay? Your spirit guides are not, no spirit guide is going to ask you to do A or B. They only offer perspective, and that's what I'm channeling right now. So if you decide anything, if you decide to do anything after taking in this particular message, or if there is a decision that you make, be very, very careful that you're making it because you believe in it, because you have evidence that this is the right way to move forward. Let this reading here simply be a way for you to awaken your own intelligence in this situation. Because this is a general reading, keep all of that in mind as you listen to the rest of this message. From these cards, I can see that your guides are saying that you are much more powerful than you think you are. So far in this work situation, you have acted simply as a witness. You've said, okay, here are the horrible things people are doing, but you haven't intervened unless you've been asked to as part of your job. You haven't put yourself forward, or you haven't put yourself out there to say, here are the things I see and this is how we need to change the situation here. Your guides are asking you to consider the possibility of playing a larger role in this situation. So you approach your superiors, for example, and say, there's a lot of shit that's happening in this area, and this is how we need to address it preemptively. This is what I see happening. This is what I see colleagues doing to each other. I'm so sorry about that construction noise, pile 3. Yeah, so you approach superiors proactively and saying, here is what we need to do to address this problem of people undermining each other. You have a real opportunity here, pile 3, to make a difference to the world of bullshit that you have been witness to. Because of your lack of emotional involvement, you actually see the situation really clearly. And that clarity can now be put to use to actually make a change wherever you are. And you don't need to consider yourself like a revolutionary here. You don't need to get emotionally invested in what happens when you go to your superiors. Just do it from a very logical standpoint. Like, I see this happening and this is my perspective. And if I share it, then maybe something can be done about it. And that is good for everyone, right? That's not good just for you. That's good for everyone. You could also tell your superiors, you could also communicate with your colleagues that whatever this bullshit is, whatever human misery that you've been witnessing, is affecting your commitment to the job. So also make your own stakes clear and let them see you. That's the essence of the message here, pile 3, that for reasons that are authentic to you, you haven't made an effort to let people at work see you. And this might be the time for you to do that, to let them see who you are, to put your cards on the table. I am this person and I don't want to continue working in a place where everyone's undercutting each other for no reason, where there's no real growth happening and there's all of this posturing occurring. I don't want to be here. So either I leave, I'm not saying give an ultimatum to your bosses, but it's just me channeling the message here. Either I leave or we make these changes. That I will help grounding, that I will help actually putting into place. Get involved. Get involved. Let's see. We have a confirmation here. 2, 3 of Swords cards here on the table. 9 of Cups in reverse and 4 of Wands. Okay. Alright. So, the thing that you need to accept about your professional path, pile 3, is that some adjustments need to be made. It can still be your means to freedom. You can still be emotionally detached from it. But your guides are saying that it won't be possible to run away from it. Because whatever your path is, whatever your actual work profile is, no matter where you go, you will see shades of this human misery. You will see people being in terrible competition with each other. It is not something that you're going to be able to walk away from unless you change your career path entirely, which is of course you're free to do, right? But if you're choosing to stay on this path for freedom, whether it's financial freedom or the ability to travel, whatever freedom that you get from this path, there is something that you need to give in turn, which is more involvement. You need to play a more active role in creating the workplace that you want to work at. Don't wait, or don't just watch things happening. Put your own cards on the table. Sorry, there was a phrase that was trying to come through, but it's not. I feel like this is not a message that you might be welcoming at the moment. Like it's just the idea of getting involved in this workplace, the idea of actually getting involved in a change effort could feel like too much, could feel like why should I do it? I don't want to do it. I'm just doing this for money, or I'm just doing this so that I can have a good life finally after all of my struggles. Your guides are saying, pile 3, yes, you can have all of that. But for whatever reason, at this point, something is required of you. And it feels scary, it feels uncomfortable, but when you actually start doing it, you might really enjoy it. You might actually start feeling much more committed and grounded in the work that you do. It feels also that your profile at work will get stronger when you start getting involved like this. And so the freedom that you're getting from the work right now is going to only deepen, because let's say that if you start playing a more indispensable role at work, then your job security is that much more solid. You could ask for increment, you can ask for more freedom in your hours or something, right? So whatever it is that you are scared to do right now, actually it's the way forward at this point. Let's see the role that your professional path is playing in your incarnation at the moment. Yeah, look at this bit of tree also. Not rooted, free. It almost makes me feel like this is a tree that is going to travel through this entire park. Like it's just going to keep rolling and keep moving and take in nutrition when it wants to. But it also means when it's not rooted, it also means that it's going to have trouble getting its nutrition, right? It's going to dry up without roots. And this, I think, is the essence of your message, pile 3, that yes, freedom is what you want and freedom is what you're going to get. But that does not mean that you're going to be able to avoid rooting yourself somewhere, you know, and you're afraid of committing to this workplace by getting more involved. But your guides are saying that that little bit of rooting is necessary for the kind of freedom that you seek. Yeah, feels like this is this lifetime, like you're just, it feels like a more restful lifetime than the ones you had in the recent past, which is also why, you know, you're looking for work where you're not emotionally exhausted, because you've come into this life sort of emotionally exhausted and need something that can sustain you, can fill you up, can give you the time to do the healing that you need to do. Yeah, this is confirming your intuition, pile 3, that you have chosen the right path. It's only that at this point you need to do a little bit of rooting, only so that you can have a deeper level of freedom. All right, pile 3, that's your message. I'm sending you a lot of love.